Beneath the frozen expanse of Siberia, where temperatures drop far below anything the human mind can endure, the permafrost hides secrets older than recorded history. Bones of unknown creatures, fragments of lost cities, and whispers of civilizations erased by time and ice, all buried beneath an endless white silence. What lies beneath this frozen graveyard could rewrite everything we know about human history. Tonight, we dig into mysteries that scientists, historians, and explorers can barely comprehend, and some say they are only scratching the surface. For millennia, Siberia has been a land of extremes, harsh, desolate, and seemingly lifeless. Yet beneath this frozen wilderness lies a hidden archive of the Earth's past. Ancient rivers carved through glacier, leaving behind the ruins of forgotten settlements. Mammoths, woolly rhinoceroses, and human relics are trapped in perfect preservation, whispering stories of worlds lost beneath the ice. From mysterious mounds rising like ghosts to unexplained artifacts frozen in time, Siberia may hold the answers to questions we've only dared to ask in dreams. This documentary explores the chilling possibility that civilizations far older and more advanced than we imagine once thrived beneath the permafrost, now waiting to reveal their secrets. Before we uncover these frozen enigmas, hit the subscribe button and join us on a journey into the unknown. Don't miss a single secret of the past. Siberia's permafrost is far more than frozen ground. It is a time capsule, a silent witness to epochs long forgotten. In its icy grip, it preserves the bones of creatures that roamed the earth tens of thousands of years ago, along with traces of human activity that challenge everything we think we know about prehistoric life. For scientists, explorers, and archaeologists, the permafrost is a tantalizing enigma, offering glimpses of a world that has been buried, frozen, and hidden for millennia. Yet, as the climate shifts and ice begins to retreat, new and astonishing discoveries emerge, suggesting that beneath the frozen wilderness, echoes of an ancient civilization lie silently, waiting to be revealed. For decades, researchers have been drawn to Siberia's remote regions, from the sprawling tundra near the Lena River to the icy plains of Yakutia. Initially, the finds were largely paleontological: woolly mammoths, prehistoric horses, and enormous mammal tusks encased in ice astonishingly well preserved. But over time, more puzzling artifacts began to appear. Stone tools, fragments of pottery, and carved bones hinted at human presence far earlier than conventional history acknowledges. And some of these artifacts seem to display a sophistication that challenges our understanding of Ice Age cultures. Tools show advanced craftsmanship, carving suggests symbolic thinking, and certain arrangements imply social organization. What could have driven early humans to endure the harshest environment on the planet, and how did they manage to leave such remarkable traces behind? The permafrost is a peculiar way of preserving not just objects, but entire stories. As ice melts in sporadic summer thaws, ancient campsites emerge, sometimes perfectly intact. Wooden structures, once buried beneath layers of frozen soil, reveal architectural skill that seems surprisingly advanced. Archaeologists have uncovered traces of dwellings with carefully constructed foundations, suggesting that early inhabitants understood not only the challenges of insulation and warmth, but also the demands of long-term habitation in a frigid environment. These structures indicate planning, foresight, and an intimate understanding of the natural landscape, a far cry from survivalist nomadic existence often attributed to Ice Age humans. In addition to structural evidence, human remains themselves provide unsettling clues. Some mummies discovered in the Siberian permafrost are preserved almost perfectly, with skin, hair, and clothing intact. These finds offer not only anatomical insights but cultural ones. Patterns of burial, artifacts included in graves, and markings on bones suggest ritualistic behavior. Anthropologists are particularly fascinated by evidence of care for the deceased, hinting at spiritual or religious beliefs that may have guided these communities. Moreover, DNA analysis from some of these remains reveals genetic lineages that do not neatly fit with known migration patterns, raising the possibility of isolated human populations, or even unknown ethnic groups, who may have thrived in Siberia long before other civilizations appeared elsewhere. Yet it is not only the human traces that confound experts. Geological surveys have revealed formations that appear artificial, geometric patterns etched into the frozen ground, long linear alignments that cut across valleys, and clusters of mounds with remarkably regular spacing. While some dismiss these as natural formations, others argue they may represent the remains of settlements, ceremonial sites, or even proto-cities. Could these icy landscapes conceal an ancient urban plan, meticulously designed for survival in extreme cold? Ground-penetrating radar and satellite imagery increasingly suggest that these anomalies are more than coincidence, sparking heated debate among geologists and archaeologists alike. Local legend provide another layer of mystery. Indigenous Siberian tribes have long told tales of hidden cities and sacred sites buried beneath the ice. Stories describe powerful civilizations that disappeared after a cataclysm, leaving behind mounds and artifacts now frozen in permafrost. While folklore often blends myth and history, repeated patterns in these legends cannot be easily dismissed. They hint at a cultural memory of events long past, a memory encoded not in books or stone, but in the oral traditions of communities who lived alongside the ice for generations. The current thawing of Siberia's permafrost has accelerated the pace of discoveries. Entire ecosystems, once trapped under ice, are now exposed, revealing plants, animal remains, and human artifacts frozen for tens of thousands of years. Each layer of ice acts like a page in a history book, chronicling climate events, migrations, and human activity. And yet, with every revelation comes urgency. The moment the ice melts, fragile artifacts and organic material are exposed to decay, potentially erasing evidence forever. Scientists race against time, uncovering relics that could reshape our understanding of human evolution, adaptation, and ingenuity. The notion of a lost civilization beneath Siberia's frozen landscape challenges conventional history. The combination of preserved human remains, advanced tools, structural remnants, and mysterious geometric formations suggests a culture far more sophisticated than previously imagined. How could humans adapt to such extreme temperatures, construct dwellings, and develop tools capable of withstanding centuries encased in ice? Were they isolated survivors of an ancient global population, or did they belong to a wider network of civilizations now erased from the historical record? These questions linger, echoing through the frozen valleys, unanswered but insistent. As researchers dig deeper, Siberia slowly reveals fragments of a story that is both awe-inspiring and haunting. The ice preserves memory, guarding its secrets with a cold and silent patience. Beneath its frozen expanse, human ingenuity, culture, and resilience left marks that survived the ravages of time, ice, and oblivion. Each discovery is a whisper from the past, an invitation to reconsider the limits of human endurance and the mysteries of civilizations that may have existed long before history thought it began. Element 1 sets the stage for a journey into these icy depths, a voyage where every step uncovers echoes of life frozen in time, waiting for the thaw that will reveal their secrets to the world. Among the most compelling and enigmatic evidence of lost civilizations beneath Siberia's ice are the artifacts themselves, objects that seem to defy logic, age, and conventional timeline of human development. Scattered across the tundra and emerging from thawing permafrost, these relics provide tantalizing glimpses into a past that challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient cultures. Unlike ordinary fossils or rudimentary tools, many of these finds hint at artistry, technology, and social organization that seem far advanced for their time. In remote regions along the Yana River and the Lena Plateau, scientists have unearthed tools and implements meticulously crafted from stone, bone, and metal. At first glance, they appear ordinary, but under closer scrutiny, their precision is staggering. Stone blades show symmetrical edges, perfectly balanced for cutting and hunting. Bone needles and fish hooks reveal an understanding of materials and function that indicates sustained cultural knowledge. But it is a discovery of metallic artifacts, preserved in permafrost for tens of thousands of years, that has truly perplexed researchers. These objects resist corrosion, maintain a sharpness that would seem impossible over such long periods, and in some cases, exhibit techniques of metallurgy thought to have been developed only much later. How could humans in such an inhospitable environment achieve this level of craftsmanship? Equally astonishing are the ceremonial artifacts. Carved figurines, ornate jewelry, and symbolic objects have been found alongside animal remains and dwelling remnants. Some figurines are shaped with exquisite attention to detail, depicting animals, humans, or abstract shapes whose purpose remains mysterious. Certain pieces appear ritualistic, perhaps connected to beliefs, ceremonies, or early forms of worship. The placement of these items in graves and mounds suggests that these early Siberians had profound respect for life, death, and possibly an understanding of the cosmos that we are only beginning to glimpse. The patterns are not random. They reveal intention, culture, and a sophistication that confounds assumptions about Ice Age societies. One of the most puzzling discoveries is a collection of carved stones, etched with symbols that do not correspond to any known writing system. These markings have sparked intense debate among linguists and archaeologists. Some speculate that these could represent an early proto-writing system, a form of symbolic communication or record-keeping lost to time. If true, this would predate Sumerian cuneiform, the earliest known writing system, by thousands of years. The idea that humans in Siberia might have developed such a system opens a possibility of complex societal structures, advanced trade networks, and even governance, all of which we previously believed were impossible in such extreme northern latitudes during the Ice Age. The preservation of organic materials adds another layer of intrigue. Pieces of woven fabric, ropes, and even wooden containers have been found frozen in permafrost, intact despite the millennia. These artifacts reveal highly specialized skills adapted to surviving in extreme cold. Textiles were strong yet flexible, demonstrating advanced weaving techniques. Containers were shaped for efficient storage and transport of food, indicating logistical planning. The presence of these objects alongside tools and ceremonial items points to a community that had mastered survival, art, and culture simultaneously, an achievement that forces a re-evaluation of prehistoric capabilities in harsh climates. Then there are the anomalies, objects that seem almost otherworldly in their construction. Certain metallic items show resistance to oxidation and wear, sharpness and durability that defy natural processes, and even structural designs that seem engineered rather than forged. While skeptics suggest natural explanations or modern contamination, repeated discoveries across remote and inaccessible sites make coincidence highly unlikely. Some researchers speculate that these artifacts could indicate lost technological knowledge, preserved in isolation beneath the ice for thousands of years. Others propose more radical theories, suggesting contact with advanced cultures or even unknown civilizations. While these ideas remain speculative, the sheer volume and consistency of anomalous finds demand attention. Recent technological advances have further amplified the mystery. High-resolution satellite imagery and drone surveys have revealed clusters of geometric formations beneath the snow, perfectly aligned mounds, and straight linear features stretching across miles of frozen terrain. Archaeologists propose that these could be the remains of urban layouts, roads, or ceremonial complexes, potentially entire cities frozen in time. When correlated with the artifacts found in nearby permafrost, a compelling narrative emerges. These were not isolated nomadic groups, but settled communities with planning, hierarchy, and cultural identity. Each new discovery strengthens the notion that Siberia may have been a hub of civilization rather than peripheral, marginal outpost. Even the animal remains provide context for these communities. Evidence of selective hunting, domestication, and possibly early herding suggests that humans were not merely surviving. They were actively shaping their environment, managing resources, and sustaining long-term habitation. Woolly mammoths, reindeer, and other large mammals appear in ritual contexts alongside human artifacts, hinting at spiritual practices or symbolic connections to the natural world. This interplay of survival, ritual, and artistry paints a picture of a civilization fully adapted to one of the most extreme climates on Earth. The frozen artifacts of Siberia compel us to confront unsettling questions. Who were these people, and how did they achieve such remarkable feats? How sophisticated was their knowledge of metallurgy, astronomy, or symbolic communication? And most importantly, why did they disappear, leaving behind only fragments of a culture that seems almost impossibly advanced for its time? These questions linger as researchers continue to uncover relics, each new find adding depth, complexity, and intrigue to a civilization frozen in ice. Element 2 concludes with a haunting realization. Siberia's permafrost is not merely a preservative, it is a vault of human history, guarding artifacts that challenge the boundaries of what we consider possible. Each shard, each carving, each meticulously crafted tool whispers secrets of a culture that thrived in the cold, leaving behind mysteries that may never be fully explained. As the ice slowly melts, it unveils not only objects but the story of human ingenuity, resilience, and artistry, an echo of a civilization lost, yet never forgotten. Even after decades of meticulous research and daring expeditions, Siberia continues to guard its deepest secrets, as if the frozen landscape itself refuses to surrender its past. The permafrost, a seemingly lifeless expanse of ice and snow, has proven to be one of the most enigmatic archives of human and natural history ever discovered. While Elements 1 and 2 explored the echoes of ancient civilizations and the astonishing artifact they left behind, the mysteries that remain unanswered are perhaps even more haunting. For every relic uncovered, another question arises, another whisper from the frozen world that demands attention, curiosity, and, in some cases, caution. One of the most compelling mysteries lies in the unexplored stretches of Siberia's vast tundra. Despite modern technology, large portions of this icy wilderness remain inaccessible, guarded by extreme weather, treacherous rain, and the sheer immensity of the region. Yet in these remote areas, occasional discoveries hint at civilizations far older and more sophisticated than previously imagined. Archaeologists have unearthed clusters of artificial mounds, some perfectly aligned in geometric patterns that stretch for miles, resembling what might once have been entire settlements or ritual complexes. Their purpose remains speculative, but their precision suggests deliberate human planning, possibly for ceremonial, astronomical, or even defensive purposes. The deeper these formations are investigated, the more they suggest an intelligence and social organization that rivals contemporaneous civilizations elsewhere on the planet. Buried beneath the permafrost are graves that continue to confound researchers. In certain regions, human remains appear accompanied by artifacts of unknown origin or function, ceremonial objects, intricate ornaments, and tools that display unusual metallurgical properties. Some mummies are preserved with such remarkable fidelity that clothing, hair, and even tattoos remain visible, offering a haunting glimpse into the lives and customs of these ancient peoples. In some cases, these burials appear ritualistic, suggesting spiritual beliefs, reverence for ancestors, or ceremonial rites lost to history. But the full significance of these graves remains a mystery. Why did these communities vanish, leaving behind only cryptic traces of their presence frozen in time? Local folklore adds another layer of intrigue to Siberia's mysteries. Indigenous Siberian tribes have long spoken of hidden cities buried beneath the ice, sacred valleys, and powerful ancestral spirits that guard ancient knowledge. Legends tell of entire civilizations that once flourished but were wiped out by cataclysmic events, a great flood, devastating climate shifts, or other natural disasters. While folklore cannot be considered scientific evidence, repeated motifs across disparate tribes suggest these stories may contain fragments of truth, cultural memories preserved across generations. Could these legends reflect real events recorded not in books but in the oral traditions of those who survived the Ice Age and passed down their knowledge and stories? The permafrost itself presents both an opportunity and a threat. As climate change accelerates the thawing of frozen soil, previously inaccessible sites are now revealed, exposing fossils, artifacts, and even entire settlements to the open air. Yet the exposure comes at a cost. Organic materials, once perfectly preserved, begin to decay rapidly when removed from their icy vaults. Archaeologists are in a race against time, attempting to document and preserve relics before they vanish forever. At the same time, thawing permafrost has a potential to release ancient pathogens, viruses and bacteria that have lain dormant for tens of thousands of years, adding a chilling layer to the already formidable mystery of Siberia's frozen lands. Some discoveries border on the inexplicable. Metallic artifacts of unknown origin, sometimes exhibiting unusual properties, appear alongside stone tools and ceremonial items. High-resolution satellite imagery and drone surveys have revealed labyrinthine patterns under the ice, linear formations stretching for kilometers, and clusters of mounds that defy natural explanation. Researchers debate whether these were ancient cities, ritual landscapes, or something entirely different. Could these formations indicate a civilization with knowledge of geometry, astronomy, or engineering lost to human memory? The more scientists study these anomalies, the more they are forced to confront the possibility that Siberia may harbor evidence of human ingenuity far beyond what we believe possible in the Ice Age. Even animal remains add to the enigma. Fossilized mammoths, woolly rhinoceroses, and other prehistoric creatures appear in burial-like contexts, sometimes alongside human artifacts. Some patterns suggest not just hunting, but selective breeding or ritualistic practice. These connections raise profound questions about the relationship between humans and animals in these ancient societies. Were these creatures merely food sources, or did they hold a deeper symbolic or cultural significance? If humans were able to manipulate and interact with their environment so deliberately, it indicates a level of sophistication previously unrecognized for such extreme latitudes. The most haunting aspect of these discoveries is not what has been uncovered, but what remains hidden. For every artifact found, countless others likely remain locked beneath miles of ice, untouched and unexplored. Siberia's permafrost is both a library and a vault, preserving the past while simultaneously guarding it from discovery. It is a frozen narrative that challenges historians, anthropologists, and archaeologists to reimagine the origins of human civilization. The question lingers: how many lost cultures, technologies, and knowledge systems remain buried, waiting to be revealed only when the ice permits? As we probe deeper into Siberia's frozen expanse, one thing becomes clear. The permafrost is more than just a physical phenomenon. It is a keeper of memory, a guardian of mysteries, and a reminder that human history may be far older, more complex, and more astonishing than we have imagined. Every thaw, every excavation, and every artifact uncovered is a step closer to understanding a civilization that thrived in one of the most extreme environments on Earth, a civilization that, despite millennia of ice and isolation, left behind traces of its ingenuity, resilience, and perhaps even its wisdom. Element 3 leaves us with a chilling realization. Siberia's frozen lands are not empty. They are alive with secrets that may redefine the story of humanity. The answers we seek are buried beneath layers of ice, snow, and time. And the next door may reveal a discovery so profound that it forces the world to confront the truth. The history of human civilization is far richer and far stranger than we ever dared imagine.